Listen, you have been doing this for the past 2 weeks. It is very annoying to come home and every 5 minutes you keep calling my name. What do you want?
I just want you to make like an intro to show off like your fun cooking show. That's all I really wanted, just like an
Is
intro.
that it? Because if you want me to do that, I can do it. It's fine. Like, you
Okay.
don't have to keep telling me that I have to do that.
I know. I'm really sorry about that. Can we do that though?
Okay, that's fine. We can do that. We can do that. Okay? Do you want to see what it looks like? This is what it looks like.
Noodles, flour, milk, butter, and some cheese. These ingredients turn it into snack time.
How was that? Was it good? Did you like it? Can you leave me alone now, please? Please. I try to go to sleep and you keep talking to me every night. I'm gonna call the cops.
Okay, I'm really actually sorry about that. I'll leave you alone from now on.
Okay. Sounds pretty good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the intro.
No, thank
Oh,
you.
yeah,
Thank you.
you. Thanks.
Appreciate it. Oh, good. Good, good, good. Oh, man. Snack time. Hello everyone, welcome back to my kitchen and to another episode of Snack Time. So today what I want to make is some macaroni and cheese. This is one of my favorite American staples that you can't really get here in Japan. So I want to show you how I, with a little bit of limited resources, make macaroni and cheese. So why don't we take a look at our ingredients. Now today's ingredient list, very simple, not too many ingredients. We got about like 10 ingredients, I think. So it's pretty easy to be grabbing everything. You can also kind of customize. You don't have to have all the ingredients that I have, but I will show you what the very basic ingredients you need are.
So, starting out, we have some macaroni noodles. This is a 250-gram package of them, which isn't enough for this recipe. So I went through my pantry and found some expired stuff, which I will not be using, and instead we'll be using these shells. This shape is really good for having the cheese stick to the pasta. Next up, there are 3 ingredients we'll be using to make ourselves a roux to start the cheese sauce. This is some butter straight from Hokkaido. You can use salted or unsalted butter for this recipe, but I will be using salted. Next up is some flour. We'll only be using about 2 tablespoons of this mammoth 1 kilogram bag. And the final part of the roux will be some milk. I'm using whole milk here, but any kind of milk will be fine. And we'll be using about 2 cups of milk. Next we have some cheeses. This is 2 types of cheddar and a mozzarella. If you don't have access to some nice cheeses or a variety, you can just use sliced cheeses that you get in this style of packaging. Really, any kind of cheese will be fine. You want to try and avoid the pre-packaged mozzarella, because that usually will have potato starch on the outside, which doesn't lend to a good cheese sauce. And of course, we can't forget some salt and pepper and paprika, which I didn't grab here, but I do show it off later. And my little secret is I love putting green onions on top of my macaroni. I think it cuts through the heavy richness of the cheese, and it gives it a slight sourness that improves it dramatically. So first what you want to do is turn on your stove to high heat to boil some water. You're going to want to follow the instructions for your pasta, which are usually found on the packaging. And if you're using 2 different pastas like I am, keep in mind the time differences. Of course, make sure to salt the water. We're going to be making the macaroni in 2 different styles today, one that will be baked in a dish in the oven and one that can be served immediately. Some kitchen equipment you'll want will be a colander to drain the pasta, a bowl to eat from, and a baking dish if you're going to be baking in the oven. Boil your pasta and make sure to put enough water in the pot so you don't make the mistake I did because I didn't include enough water. You'll want to cook the pasta about halfway if you're going to be making the baked mac and cheese, because it will finish cooking in the oven once it's in there. If you're just making the regular mac and cheese, then the full time will be necessary. Line your baking dish with some noodles and set aside. Comment on how your kitchen is awful because the burners will automatically turn off for no reason. Once your noodles are cooking and draining, it's time to make the cheese sauce. Turn the stove on to medium heat and add in our butter. Give that a stir around and then put 2 tablespoons of flour into the pot. We're going to need to constantly stir the pot from now until the sauce is finished to prevent burning. Next, we want to add in some milk, just a little to start the process, and then more afterwards. Never stop stirring and definitely don't walk away. Next, add in your cheeses from a cute cat bowl. If you're making the regular mac and cheese, add in all of your cheeses now, but if you're baking it, hold off on the mozzarella until later. Once everything is combined and thick, your cheese sauce for the mac and cheese is done. You can pour the cheese over the noodles in a large container and dig in. But make sure you don't forget the green onions. Now you're really finished and can enjoy. However, if you are baking the macaroni, then you'll need to do a couple more things. At this point, I added in some salt, pepper, and paprika because I forgot to earlier, but also because the pasta was salty enough that I didn't really need it. Then we want to pour the cheese sauce over the pasta in the baking dish, and make sure to mix that around a bit so the cheese sauce can get to the bottom of the dish. I then added pieces of mozzarella to the dish and poked those down as well with my trusty cooking chopstick. Place this in a 200°C oven for about 10 minutes or until nice and brown, and be rewarded with this. Stretchy cheese, crispy bits on top, absolutely amazing. Make sure to top your macaroni with the green onions and you're good to go.
So anyway guys, that is my macaroni and cheese video. Here it is here. I have, still eating it. Super amazing, like super cheesy. The green onion really helps cut back on the richness of the cheese. Honestly, to be honest, this bowl, I actually didn't add any salt and pepper. This to me tastes perfect. Like this is a really good balance. Because you've salted the water for the pasta, like the pasta itself is salty, so you don't need added salt for the cheese sauce. For the baked macaroni and cheese, I added in that salt and pepper and paprika just because when you are reheating it later, you're going to want to use a little bit of milk to reheat it and kind of give it some steam and not make it so dry. So because you're adding that milk in, it will dilute the flavor a bit, but with that added salt and pepper, it'll taste delicious. Again, still, it'll be pretty much the same as freshly made. Stop yelling at me. And yeah, just amazing. So, please try this. Thank you for watching. Yo, for real, this is so good. That curry recipe, like my secret curry recipe, like that's good. This is like, to me, this is so much better than that curry recipe. This is really, really good. Of course, I love the curry recipe, but I mean, listen, this stuff is insane. I will say this, like, making, like, how can I say, in terms of dishes, like, not that bad. Like, you basically have your measuring cup for the milk, you got the pot, you got a colander, you got a pot, you'll get a spoon. I use those cooking chopsticks because they're funny to me, but like, in terms of dishes, not a lot going on in my sink. I actually forgot to wash my dishes before filming this, so that's why right now my sink is kind of full. But in terms of what I made for dishes, like, I don't know, 5 or 6 things. Also, if you don't want to bake the mac and cheese, you don't have to at all. Like, this by itself is amazing. Just pour that cheese sauce on top, give it a stir, like mix it up. I know that in my baking dish is too small, which is why it was kind of like overflowing off the edges. if you get a big Tupperware or something like that, you put the macaroni, you put your pasta in, and then you add that cheese sauce on top and give it a stir. Amazing, like perfect. If you're not a fan of green onions, which I know, you know, some people aren't really into that, using like a fresh basil or some kind of herb that you enjoy to cut through the richness, because I feel like without these little pieces of green onion in there, this would be so heavy. I'm really gonna eat this whole bowl in my kitchen. I will tell you this, my apartment, the insulation in this place is not that great. It is so hot right now in this kitchen. Like standing next to, actually stove's not that hot, but I have my oven going right now. If you hear that fan, if you have the fan in the background, it's because my oven's going. Actually, I gotta turn that oven on. This is a big bite. Don't do big bites. Big bites are no good. Ugh. This cheese sauce, seriously, like sticks to the noodles a lot, which is, for me, I love that. I love that kind of mac and cheese. I don't like the, you know, when you make a Kraft mac and cheese box, like the cheese sauce is kind of really watery or soupy. Like, it's either watery or soupy if you follow the instructions, or if you use less milk than they recommend, the flavor is way too strong for me. But making this, like, it's the perfect consistency. It's thick, it sticks to the noodles, it's not overpowering. And yeah, this is amazing. And that is that's a clean bowl. This was super delicious. I really hope you guys try this at home. If you guys like, you know, if you want to try out some American food, or if you want to try out a new way of eating a classic, I really recommend trying this out and seeing for yourselves if you like it. And yeah, thank you for watching. Take care. Okay, I gotta be honest with you. I'm filming this part now, like maybe 10-15 minutes after I filmed that last part, and I am trying the baked macaroni. And like, I gotta be real, I gotta be honest. The other bowl was amazing, really, really good, super good flavor, not salty, not, you know, not too, how would I say, sharp, I guess, in its flavor. Green onion was amazing, but this super cheesy, super gooey, creamy, if you can make the baked, if you have an oven, I really, really, really recommend making this baked. Like, I thought the previous stuff was perfect and amazing, but right after I pulled this out of the oven and I took the spoon to it after it cooled a bit and I saw the cheese stretch, I was like, I'm a little full, but okay, I'll try just a little bit. Like, this stuff here is phenomenal. The mozzarella that was on top sort of gotten a little bit of like a crisp to it. It got a little crispy on top, and the texture, like some of the noodles that were on top actually even got, I don't know if you can see that, they're like a little bit browned on them. Like these noodles, you can have crispy on the brownish side and soft and chewy on the other side. The whole thing is cheesy. The green onions, again, super help out with cutting down on that richness. But yeah, this is what you should do. You really, really, really should make this. This is so good. If you do not have an oven, I would say take that mozzarella that I showed earlier, cut it into small pieces and just add it in with the cheese sauce. It'll add that creaminess in. You won't be able to get that crispy texture that this baked one is having, but that's okay. It's not necessary. The flavor is pretty much the same, but the texture difference is making this one a lot better. So, once again, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. We'll be doing another episode. I'm trying to do episodes every 2 weeks. So hopefully I will get, if you leave some suggestions down in the comments, I will get to those. And as always, please subscribe, hit the bell icon for notifications. Please like if you liked this, and share this with your friends and family if you want to show, a white guy who is sweating in a really hot kitchen making American foods and having fun. If that's appealing and you and you liked this, then hey, share it along, because it helps me out too. So thank you again, and until next time. Oh my god. Why is it so good?